Dopamine is an incredibly powerful molecule that allows us to buffer the effort process. It allows us to be in effort longer and allows us to actually eventually enjoy the process of effort and nothing about the reward, but just say, oh, I'm enjoying the process, right? Where you just describe the first step. The first step in learning to take dopamine to the effort process, which is the key operation in order to success, is to be very careful about how much you focus on the end goal. And so your thoughts, if you're having a hard time controlling your thought, you're feeling your emotion, you're feeling trigger, you're feeling like everything wearing down you. Do something to shift your philosophy so that you can approach that challenge from a different stand. If you were to instruct someone to do the worst possible things in the morning to set the day for failure, what would it be? Stay in bed, cushion raw, passively scrolling on social media, drink coffee too early in the day. They are getting into any cap movement, instead of making a cup of coffee while testing, and they're not being delivered or the international order. The thing they are doing, they're just allowing the money to come and take them wherever the wind blow. That's right, and I have to say, even though I describe my routine, I couldn't. My morning routine couldn't. If I were to really automate it, I would. What is your morning routine look like at the moment? Morning routine is, and I have been careful here because whenever I describe my routine in a little bit of detail, people always say, I can't believe you don't go to the bathroom. It's like where I put on my pants on. It's really right foot, left foot. So I want to be clear. Yeah, I want to take care of my basic function. Um, but when I wake up, I make a billion for sunlight. So I'm going to get sunlight in my body. Probably going to the right saying this for so forgive me if you have heard me sleep before. But it's the best thing you can do with sleep, your wisdom, your good mood, your wakefulness, your metabolism is to get a natural light in your eye early in the day. Don't wear sunglasses to do it. It takes about 10 minutes or so. If you live in a cloudy area, you're in the UK, yeah, in the winter or the summer, maybe you research some official light as a replacement. But the most you can get bright, natural, and if not natural, official light in your early in the day. With some glasses, sun contact and eyeglasses are fine. No try and do it through a window or visor. It's going to take far too long. This is the motion a huge number of different neurobiological and hormonal candidates not good for you. Reduce stress late at night. After the cortisol, a million different things that's really not good for you. So I get that. So then I come back inside and then I do not drink caffeine away right away. It's important in many ways. To delay caffeine enough so that you can apply soundly chemical signal in the brain and the body that leads to feelings of pressure so that the longer you are awake the more macros and adenines build up in your system, and when you sleep the better adenines level back down. When you wake up in the morning, that adenine level can be zero, but often time they still some hanging around. Caffeine is adenosine. Antagonist is a block adenosine function. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's effectively what it does. So you wake up and you get 20% of your adenosine hasn't been cleared awareness. Then you wake up, then you are and you drink your coffee and you cross that ability of adenine to have that effect when it hasn't gone away. So that when your coffee wakes up mid-morning, now that adenosine is there, you feel like the mid-morning crash on an afternoon crash. So I delay my caffeine intake for about 90 and delay 120 minutes after I wake up. Because in that way, you bring the adenosine level down very low to zero, and then you get this rebound crash in the afternoon. For years, I would get this rush lunch crash, and I thought I'm eating too much for lunch, but I probably say I was maybe I'm eating the wrong food. Turn out it's all related to my timing of caffeine, and your system really learn how to wake up naturally, right? We get the natural cortisol and adrenaline. Give it a time, and people hate one because it's a little bit painful for the caffeine addict. But I'm very pretty sure caffeine addict, and I'm very sad that I will tell you it is a make a child. Coffee is so much better. You're like waiting for that steroid. You're like, oh my fat for this thing so much better. That's related to the dopamine system. We don't know we're talking about later. Just how on our phones when it comes to dopamine. Okay, quick question. We often hear that the social media targeting dopamine hit after dopamine hit. When we first get on social media, after a while, for the first time after a long period of time, the amount of dopamine not released within a wish substantial. It's novel. Remember, dopamine is about novelty, surprise, and a sense that we are on some exciting track. That's what dopamine is really about. It was to stay readiness, anticipation, looking, seeking, almost a way for things outside the concern of our skin, confidence of our skin. One of the key takeaways from that book, Domination, that I incorporated in my own life is that there are certain activity that go water and create long-lasting out of dopamine. Those can be very useful for working us into long-lasting motivational state. They not big and sharp and then the pain of the cold water, followed by this line of dopamine. Wonderful is calm and antidepressant positive motivator, natural stimulant. And I say if you don't have a session as a cold sober, yes, you will. But you have a skip sober that doesn't get cold enough. Keep in mind the original study showing this dopamine increase people get into city water which is not that cold for 45 minutes or to an hour. So the water bill might go up, but you could just rub cap cool back and get into that up to the neck. So because I realized that there's sometimes some customers to people they're not has night bath. And I have to say even I thought I described my routine crudely. My morning routine crudely. If I were to really automate it, I would, and I would done this from time to time. I would get up, I would hydrate, and I would immediately exercise. I would use that early, beginning of the cortisol response, not come with tech working to get a body interaction. Set up choco winkle style right there for 30 hours since what I see them at 7 a.m. Yeah, recently. Let's say somebody really want to take on a fitness routine. They hate running and they want to lose weight in a healthy way. This kind of thing. So we have this example where but you're sure by the door they want they show you by the month they show you what the door before you walk around the block and then and then eventually they're running a marathon. Okay, great. But you subsend that behavior or even to make the behavior pleasurable and to give you energy. The key is to subjectively reward the step. So that's going to be let's say wow and I run a mile and I'm going to run 10 miles. And if you wish the key is as you are in the strength of that mile, the hard part. I want you to tell yourself, this is the good part. This is the part. Not give me energy. And it will be very subside if people don't actually feel like they could continue further. So the 20,000 miles start with a single is makeable. Single step, but the kids reward the harder step, not the easier one. Another one where you get the thing that you want. Don't reward yourself for waiting you're so on attacking on a step outside. You could even have a huge barrier for you if it were very hard. If it were very hard for you running the 10 mile, fire the wall and push a little bit further through that wall and reward that process. This is the hard part that will go because when the adrenaline friend are getting mega loud and when that's you have an opportunity to bring the moon in 10 those narrow part of well take way to slam them back down. The other element that really is important to practice is this rate phrase is isolated with a release of the molecular neuromodulator serotonin. Serotonin is a reward molecule just like dopamine except that is released in the brain in response to subjective experience that we have enough resources. So when we eat a big meal or we enjoy and even we been better when we enjoy a meal with friends or family. I just feel like one of those incredible evening you are reset. It's that feeling of being reset. I don't understand the resonant effect when you hold if you hold your child or a partner that you love for your dog. There's a feeling of having enough. And so rest domain is really the molecular that make us look at things outside the boundaries of our skin, learn to be in the pursuit of things. It's really the pursuit of motivation molecule. Something is really about feeling like we have enough in our immediate environment. And it's so powerful because let not excuse serotonin but it's check up periodically. We cannot learn back into dopamine our work pursue process for very long so we need serotonin. Absolutely to feel more complete whole self. You need to balance serotonin and dopamine, maybe across the day, maybe across the week. I think in religious practice, our religions that really care about their rest of the period. For many, I think of them. That makes sense because needs to be renewal.